There was a man named Alex who lived in a small village. He was married to a kind woman named Esther, and together they had 3 children: John, Abubakar, and Indo. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. The family was unique because each of the 3 brothers followed a different religion. John, the eldest, was a Christian. Abubakar, the second son, was a Muslim. Indo, the youngest, followed idol worship. Although they came from the same family, their different beliefs often caused disagreements among them. One day, a serious argument broke out between the 3 brothers. The disagreement was so intense that even their parents, Alex and Esther, couldn't stop them from fighting. Family members and friends from the village tried to intervene, but no one could calm the situation. The brothers continued to argue, and the tension between them only grew. The matter eventually reached the ears of the king, who ruled over their village. The king was a wise man leader, but even he could not find a way to settle the dispute between the brothers. After several attempts to bring peace to the situation, the king decided that the best solution would be for the family to leave the village. The king gave them a strict order. The family had to leave the village within 24 hours, or else there would be serious consequences. The brothers were sad but understood the gravity of the situation. Realizing that staying in the village was causing trouble, they decided it was best to leave and go their separate ways. It was a painful decision, but they had no choice. After that day, the 3 brothers left the village and started new lives far from their home. 2 years passed, and life outside the village was not easy for the brothers. They each struggled to adapt to their new lives. One night, while Abubakar was sleeping, he had a strange and troubling dream. In his dream, he saw their father, Alex, lying lifeless. The people of the village were gathered around him, crying and mourning his death. Abubakar woke up in a panic, feeling deeply troubled by the dream. He couldn't shake the feeling that it was a sign. Worried, Abubakar went to find Indo, the youngest brother, who followed idol worship. He told Indo about the dream and said, "I dreamt that our father in the village has passed away. People are crying and gathering around him. I don't know what to make of it, but it felt so real." Indo, who didn't believe in the same things as his brothers, still understood that something serious might be happening. He listened carefully to Abubakar's words, and they both agreed they needed to find out if their father was really gone. They decided to go to their 3rd brother, John, who was a Christian, to talk about the dream and figure out what to do next. When they found John, Abubakar quickly explained everything to him. "I had a dream that our father in the village is dead," Abubakar said. "People are crying for him." John, who was a Christian, listened carefully. He didn't believe that their father was really dead. "I don't think our father is dead," John said calmly. "But if there is a way for us to go back to the village right now, I believe that our father will rise from the dead. We must not lose hope." The 3 brothers stood in silence, thinking about what to do. After a moment, Indo spoke up. "I know a way," he said. "I can take us back to the village. With my spiritual power, Indo had a special ability. One that he had learned over the years, and he was confident he could bring them back to their home." Without wasting any time, Indo made the necessary preparations, and with his powers, he disappeared with those 3 of his brothers back to the village where they had grown up. When they arrived, they were shocked to find that their father had indeed passed away. The village was filled with mourners, and the sadness in the air was overwhelming. John, though heartbroken, did not give up. He turned to his brothers and asked them to leave the room. "I need to be alone for a moment," he said. His brothers reluctantly left, and John knelt down and began to pray with all his heart. He prayed to God, asking for a miracle and pleading for his father to be brought back to life. As John prayed, he believed in his heart that God would hear his prayer. He trusted in God's power and mercy. He prayed with great faith, asking for the impossible, that his father would return to life. His prayer lasted for what seemed like hours, but John did not give up. Suddenly, something miraculous happened. Alex, their father, who had been lifeless, began to breathe again. Slowly, he opened his eyes and sat up. The brothers rushed into the room and saw their father alive. Tears of joy filled their eyes as they embraced him, thankful for the miracle that had taken place. The village, which had been mourning their father's death, was now filled with amazement and wonder. People gathered to see the miracle that had happened before their eyes. They knew that something special had occurred, and they couldn't explain it. John, Abubakar, and Indo stood together, united not just by family, but by a miracle that had brought them closer. They realized that despite their differences in faith, the power of love and prayer had brought them together and restored their father's life. And so, the brothers learned a powerful lesson that day. No matter how different they are, their faith and love for each other could overcome any obstacle. They are the same family, and nothing could separate them. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment to this story. Especially this one. What lesson did you learn from it?